In this video, we will look at how to convert fractions to percentages. In this video, we will look at fractions that have denominators of 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, and 50, and make them equivalent to a fraction out of 100. Let's look at some familiar fractions and their percentages. Sarah said she got 10 out of 10 on her test, and said that she got 100%. Let's write down the facts that we know. We know that 10 out of 10 is 100%. Mark, on his test, got 20 out of 20, and he said that he got 100%. Let's write that in the facts that we know. 20 out of 20 equals 100%. So which is correct? 10 out of 10 is 100%, or 20 out of 20 is 100%. Can they both be 100%? Who is correct? Let's look at Stella. Stella on her test got 9 out of 10, and she said that she got 90%. Let's write that down. 9 out of 10 equals 90%. Kendre got 18 out of 20 on his test, and he got 90% as well. Let's write that down. 18 out of 20 equals 90%. So 9 out of 10 equals 90%, and 18 out of 20 equals 90%. Is that possible? Who is correct? Let's look at the word percentage. We often write this symbol as the percentage symbol. And if we break up that percentage symbol, we can see that it turns into the number 100. The word percentage means out of 100. We can see in the middle of the word percentage, there's the word cent. And we know that 1 cent, which looks like this, when you combine 100 of them, 100 cents makes $1. And this is how you can easily remember the word percentage. Percentage means out of 100. We are going to make equivalent fractions out of 100 to find the percentage. In order to change fractions into percentages, we have to do the following. Let's check Stella's percentage again. She said she got 90%. The steps to change fractions into a percentage are as follows. Step 1. Make the fraction equal to another fraction out of 100. So we will take 9 out of 10 and we will make it equal to a fraction out of 100. Step 2. Determine what number to multiply the denominator by to give you 100. We know that 10 times 10 is 100. And step 3. Perform the same multiplication on the numerator. 9 times 10 is 90. And Stella is correct. 9 out of 10 is 90%. Now let's check Kendre. Kendre got 18 out of 20, and he said he got 90%. Let's follow the steps again to convert fractions into percentages. Step 1 says make the fraction equal to another fraction out of 100. 18 out of 20 is equal to what out of 100? Step 2, determine what to multiply the denominator by to give you 100. We know that 20 times 5 is 100. And step 3 says perform that same operation of multiplication to the numerator. 18 times 5 is 90. So Kendre and Stella are both correct. They both got 90%. Let's check Sarah's. Sarah got 10 out of 10. She said she got 100. We know if we get all of our questions right on a test, and there were only 10 questions, we automatically get 100. But let's check it. Step 1, make the fraction equal to another fraction out of 100. 10 out of 10 equals what out of 100? Step 2, determine what to multiply the denominator by to give you 100. We know 10 times 10 is 100. And 3, perform the same operation of multiplication to the numerator. Again, 10 times 10 will give me 100. Checking Mark's 20 out of 20 score, which he said was 100. Following the steps again, we're going to make the 20 out of 20 equal to a fraction out of 100. Step 2, determine what to multiply by. 20 times 5 is 100. And step 3, perform the same multiplication to the numerator. 20 times 5 is 100. We know that as long as we have 20 questions on a test and we get all 20 correct, we will get 100%. As long as the numerator and the denominator are the same in the fraction, you will always get a percentage of 100%. So let's look at the factors of 100. What two numbers can we multiply by to give us 100? Let's list the ways we can multiply two numbers to give 100. We can always start any number with 1. 1 times 100 is 100. Therefore, the factors of 100 so far are 1 and 100. Let's list another way we can multiply two numbers to give 100. Well, after 1 is 2. 2 times 50 is 100. So 2 and 50 are also factors of 100. What else? Not 3. 3 can't go into 100. 4. 4 times 25 is 100. And so 4 and 25 are factors of 100. How about 5? 5 times 20 is 100. And so 5 and 20 are factors of 100. Are there any more? Yes, 10. 10 times 10 is 100. And so 10 is a factor of 100. Let's look at all of the factors of 100 we have just listed. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50, and 100. If we come across fractions with any of these numbers in the denominator, we can easily use multiplication given the multiplication facts that we know. 1 times 100 is 100. 2 times 50 is 100. 4 times 25 is 100. 5 times 20 is 100. And 10 times 10 is 100. You will need to memorize these facts in order to convert fractions into percentages with these denominators very quickly. Let's look at question 1. Now it's your turn. How do we convert 3 over 5 into a percentage? Well, following the steps, we make it equal to a fraction out of 100. And then we find what number multiplied by 5 gives us 100. The facts that we just looked at told us that 5 times 20 is 100. And we do the same thing to the numerator. 3 times 20 is 60. And so 3 out of 5 is equal to 60 over 100, which is 60%. As long as we have a number out of 100, the numerator is the percentage. Question 2. 12 out of 25 is equal to what percentage? Step 1. Make the fraction equal to a fraction out of 100. Step 2. 25 times what gives us 100? 25 times 4 is 100. And we do the same thing to the numerator. 12 times 4 is 48. Therefore, 12 out of 25 is equal to 48 out of 100, and we know that that is 48%. Let's try question 3. 8 out of 50 is equal to what percentage? Following the steps again, 8 out of 50 equals what out of 100? Step 2. 50 times what gives us 100? We know that 50 times 2 is 100, and we do the same thing to the numerator. 8 times 2 is 16. And our answer is 16%. Question 4. 98 out of 100 is equal to what percentage? Before we even follow any steps, we know that because the fraction is already out of 100, the answer is going to be the numerator. The percentage will be whatever the number is in the numerator. But let's check the steps to be sure. Make the fraction equal to another fraction out of 100. We know that 100 times 1 is 100, and 98 times 1 is 98. And yes, the answer is 98%. Question 5. 7 out of 20 is equal to what percentage? Step 1, make them equivalent to a fraction out of 100. 20 times 5 is 100. And so 7 times 5 is 35. 7 out of 20 is equal to 35%. Last question, 3 out of 10. If you got 3 out of 10 on a test, what would your percentage be? Let's write 3 out of 10 and make it equal to a fraction out of 100. 10 times 10 is 100, and 3 times 10 is 30. And 3 out of 10 is equal to 30%. And now you've solved the mystery of how to convert fractions into percentages.